that's okay. Cause once you hear my poppin', you're gonna walk this way. Now I sound different, nothing quite like the rest, which indicates to all you industry insiders.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition, another installment of Hashtag Faith the Black Guy. Host John Alamonte. As you can see, no green screen. I actually started off late. First of all, I want to extend my apologies for not doing the show on Monday. Let's just say life things happen. So here I am. And then also I want to break this news before I jump into the opening statements. So as we know, this is the first day of August. I'm currently still in the military. And this August, I will be in school. And so we probably won't be doing any shows this Monday because of my absence. But one thing I am going to say is this. I will be doing reruns of past shows, so watch out for that. But then if I have a little bit of time to do a show, I will let you know, or I just going to broadcast it. So I just want to let you know this month I'm going to be pretty busy. But if I have a little bit of time, I will attempt or try. Well, I'm not going to say attempt to do a live show with my panel or just me. As you can see, it's just me right now. So hopefully a couple of the panel members will be coming in soon. But got a doozy of a show for you. It was set for last Monday, but I'm gonna do it for today. So let's, as you always know, go in with the opening statements. But big shout out to our sponsor, Shutterboard Popcorn, as their link will be strolling at the bottom. They got 15 different flavors. They also got some new flavors on hand as well. So, got the bugs over here, so I'm actually outside. I got a little fan here. So, but other than that, let's jump on in. Get with our opening statements. Here we go. Right, so my opening statement I actually had on the tip of my head, and I need to learn how to just write stuff down what I'm about to talk about. It goes along with this topic we're about to talk about. So anybody who's an NBA fan, NFL fan, you know Deshaun Watson. He was a former Texan. Now he's currently with the with the Browns, has been issued a 6-game suspension and a fine by the NFL today. After 50, ladies and gentlemen, 50 women came out saying that Deshaun Watson sexually assaulted them, raped them. And I came down to this conclusion. I won't say I came down to a conclusion. It made me think because originally, because now my thoughts is kicking in now, I was really going to talk about Dave Chappelle. But then also this Watson situation really hit me hard too as well. This man who has a ton of talent has proven to be a leader. And for him to allegedly do this to all these women, it just makes you think, who else in the position of power that is getting away with all of this? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm the type of person, before we start throwing rocks at anybody, we got to get the whole story. I hate to sound conservative, but let's get all the details first. But when you got 50 women coming out saying that Deshaun Watson did all these sexual acts with them, this is beyond, let's wait for all the details. It's right there. And for this man to get a second chance at life just make me question the justice system and just question, you know, basically question everything. And it's just, what world are we living in? What world are we living in where we just allow our so-called superstars not to be held accountable for what they have done or being alleged of doing? Now, a lot of y'all gonna say, well, he got a 6-game suspension. To me, he should get more than just a 6-game suspension. This is not some internal or on the field thing that this man done. This is not some, you know, substance abuse or a substance that he's not supposed to take type of thing. This is him allegedly sexually assaulted these women. And understand this. When you sit there sided with this man and saying that justice is being done, would you say that if one of those women turned out to be your daughter, or if your daughter, if you have any daughters, or even a son that came out and say that somebody who is a superstar, actor, billionaire, whatever, sexually assaulted your kid, would you allow that? Oh, we just gonna suspend them for 2 weeks with pay. Would you, in the same breath, go along with that? See, here's the things you have to ask yourself. Where you sit there and say, well, you agree to anything, no matter if it's, what it is. You have to put yourself in their shoes. You have to flip the board on yourself and be like, would I allow that to happen to me or my family members? See, people, we're so worried about being, oh, I'm minding my business, but in the same breath, gossip, man, if that was me. But then when it finally happens to you, and then life or the people that was affected that you didn't care about give you the same energy that you gave, now all of a sudden the world sucks. The world's garbage. People are horrible. Remember, life is an investment. Whatever you put in life, you surely will get back. We're all businessmen and women at the end of the day. We don't have to have an LLC. We don't have to have a big time business. Whatever we do in life will give back to us, good or bad. So for all the people that sit there supporting Watson, saying that justice has been served, he got a 6-game suspension. Remember, this man is still getting paid, number one. Number two, he still got his job. Number three, after his 6-game suspension, it's like it never happened. And you have to keep that into an account. And McCary, what's up, McCary? This is what he wrote. So what kind of punishment should Jerry Jones face? Have recently reported that he said same thing. I actually talked about it when Jerry Jones, when his estranged daughter came out the woodworks. You saw how that news just went under the freaking cracks, just went under the water. Nobody brought it up again. Don't get me wrong. I'm a Cowboys fan through and through. But just like anything else, I criticize. If I see a problem, in the words of Roland Martin, if you do something good, I'm going to talk about you. You do something wrong, I'm going to talk about you. So just the same breath as I'm saying this about Watson, same breath I would give to Jerry Jones. And if you could give me more on that, or me, I could just do my own research on it. I'm not surprised that Mr. Jerry Jones got himself into some trouble, and knowing that money and power rules everything around him. Stuff got pushed under the rug. But on to Deshaun Watson. If it was up to me, he wouldn't be playing. He would have a year suspension, and I'm taking half his pay for that year. That through the year, he'd go through sensitivity training. That half his money will go to all these sexually assaulted, sexually abused organizations for women, men, boys, and girls. And that he had to participate with every event that they have. And he had to be an advocate. Because we could go through the sensitivity classes all we want to. Question is, they probably not going to learn anything. They probably might learn new things here and there. But at the end of the day, it's just going to be them just going through a class. No. You make them go to these organizations. Make them sit in these round table talks or these round discussion, these open discussions. And hear the men and women of what's going on. And right, Deshaun was not charged with any wrongdoing, though, and this was by 2 grand juries. But 50 women have came out and said these things about him. And let's not be for real. It's all about money. Period. It's all about money. Which is going to lead me into this next subject about Vincent Kennedy McMahon. But before we go up in there, our boy Mayo needs your vote. If you live in Ohio in the 3rd district, he needs you to go out there and vote for him. And from all of us, Mayo, if you watch it right now, we love you. We support you. Bring it home, Daddy. Ladies and gentlemen, Mayo got a message for you.
It was just about a month ago that I found out that this old building behind me that used to be a hospital is where I was born. I had always thought it was Mont Carmel East because it had the St. Anne's name on it. But I'm told that it is right here on Brighton Road, 2 streets south of the southern border of the district that I have served in my life and want to continue to serve. This is a community that has grit, understanding of love, compassion, and a great level of faith and work ethic, and perseverance in the face of the toughest struggles any man or woman has ever faced. This is the community that I come from, one that I have served and want to continue to serve. My parents were 2 new American students that met each other on the campus of The Ohio State University. They fell in love. They had 3 children. I'm the last of the 3 boys you saw them carrying around back in those days. They were known as pioneers when it came to African drumming and dancing back in the 70s and the 80s. Upon my return to the state, I was able to graduate from Columbus Public School, Eastmore High School. Go Warriors. And after that, I attended college at Western Kentucky University where I played football and came back home as a member of 2002 National Championship football team, the only national championship the school ever won. And just last year, my teammates and I were just inducted into the school's Hall of Fame. After returning from college, I joined the Democratic Party by invitation from Stephanie Tubbs Jones, the first African-American congresswoman in the history of the state of Ohio. God bless her soul. And ever since then, I've been serving the Democratic Party. Part of the things I've done, 1, saving rec centers in 2009 when the city had budget crisis and shut down 12 rec centers. I was able to start a public-private partnership that saved those rec centers. 2, after the shooting in Dallas, I was the one that called council members to make sure that a racist sign on a police station on 11th and Cleveland, only one in the city, was taken down, explaining to them that it was not the best form of police and community relations. 3, I'm the one that has been traveling to the State House and to Capitol Hill advocating for working class people in my community, advocating on issues like Medicare for all, issues of support for public education, and issue of reinstating the 33 Glass-Steagall, issues that make sure that people in my community get their fair share of service. This campaign and movement is not just about me or just about my campaign. It's about the state of Ohio. And more importantly, it's about the 25th House District and those who live in that district, people like myself. And you can join the fight by 1, sharing this video so that everyone in this district can see this video. 2, go on our website and join us, volunteer with us, or chip in $1 or 2 so that messages like this can get out further and faster. And 3, tell somebody that you know in the 25th House District to vote Mayo McKinday on March 17, 2020 for state representative in the 25th House District. I cannot wait for us to win this campaign and this race so that I can start representing you at the Ohio State House. I have never failed you, and I will never fail you. You can always count on that.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is our boy Mayo. I stand corrected. It's not 3rd district, it's the 25th district. So apologize about that. So go out if you're in the 25th district of Ohio, please go and support our brother, our fellow panelist, Mayo. And last time I talked to him the other day, and he's actually doing pretty good in the polls. So let's hope August 2nd that y'all go out there and vote. First of all, register to vote. And I'm not just talking about Ohio. I'm talking about all over the place, no matter where you at. Like for me, I'm here in Washington. If you're in Virginia, if you're in Florida, you're in Chicago, whatever, register to vote. Yes, your vote do count. Don't listen to nobody else. Register to vote. But my boy, McCary, he put something during the commercial. He said, real talk, was it really 50 women though? It's strangely coincidental that these accusations didn't come out until he said he didn't want to play for Houston organization. Yes, now you know me on this show. I'm fair. That is true. Because Houston at the time was a freaking dumpster fire because of freaking their head. I forgot the damn head coach name at the time. He was one of the Belichick guy, and he was a hack, still a hack, and destroyed that freaking organization. Definitely with that stupid trade. And I believe that when he said that, that's when all those allegations started to come. Because either two things happened. Either they were paid to say those things, or there was paid hush money. I'm not trying to put my conspiratorial hat on, but it seemed like the Houston organization knew what was going on. Either he did all those things, or those ladies were paid to say all those things. So, you know me, I hate conspiracy theories. So, but let's go into this. Yeah, O'Brien, thank you so much, McCary. So let's get into this. Everybody's still talking about this, by the way. I wish my boy Billsy was up on here for anybody who's a wrestling fan. All last week, the news was buzzing about Vincent Kennedy McMahon, the CEO/owner of the WWE. Now, a little history. His dad, I forgot his dad's name, but his dad used to have it named the WWF part of the territories back in the day. And then he basically gave the keys and the reins to Vincent Kennedy McMahon, who revolutionized, I gotta be real, he revolutionized wrestling. He brought wrestling into pop culture. He bought up all the territories, but before he bought up all the territories, he took all their top stars, and that's when he started pillaging all of the territories. Now, a lot of people say that Vince McMahon monopolized wrestling. He took over all the territories, while others say that he was a genius for doing it and that the promoters were just as dirty as well, but that's for a different story. So Vince ended up buying all the territories, other than the NWA, which turned into the WCW. And WCW was their only competition. Then you could go with ECW, and, so you kind of had three. And then eventually Vince McMahon beat WCW, because everybody remember the Monday Night Wars. Everybody remember that. I remember those days where you flipped between Raw and Nitro, because I remember Raw. No, I think it was later. Raw started at 9, Nitro started at 8, and then I think WWE, I think Raw did the same thing. But at that being said, Vince McMahon ended up winning. He ended up buying a very trash WCW at the time. Then found out that he had an invested interest in ECW. And let's be clear, he did not create the Attitude Era. He just took something from ECW and molded it into his own. Because remember the stars like Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Triple H. We even remember when LOD was making some noise during that time. D-Generation X, Shawn Michaels. I mean, the list goes on, including China, rest her soul, during that time period. Let me see. And I thank McCary for also bringing it up too. The World Wildlife Foundation, they beat them in court to take the WWF name, and now Then they changed it to WWE, and I like that little slogan during that time. Their little campaign was "Get the F out," which was pretty cool. So then WWE was the only game in town, and then TNA started to pick up a little bit, but we all knew who was a big game in town. Vince have created lots of characters. He made WrestleMania like the marquee for everybody to go to watch the superstars, to watch the athletes and celebrities to be out there and all that stuff. So you got to give Vince McMahon that head nod for what he's done for sports entertainment, not wrestling. But then you have to look at Vince McMahon during those years too, where he was in the steroid scandal. Vince McMahon also was going through the Cream Team. I want y'all to look that up. Pat Patterson, rest his soul, and two other WWE, well, at the time, WWF employees, what they did to Ring Boys back in the day, which he basically just kicked under the rug. Then you got scandals with, he even had sexual assault, issues back in the day too. He cheated on Linda, which got thrown on the rug. If y'all look up the very first ever female referee, she said she was sexually assaulted by Vince and a fellow, one of his fellow higher ups. And so y'all need to do a lot of research on this man. And now, fast forward to today, it just piled on because now he is a publicly traded entity. And people are failing to understand that. I mean, anybody who can use common sense, can use critical thinking. When you are publicly traded company, let's go back to the first word, publicly traded company. Everything that as a private company, let me say that again, as a private company, is now out there for the world to see. Now, not primarily to the world to see, but to your board of shareholders. They have to know the ins and outs of your business and knowing what they're investing into. Because if they find anything that's wrong, that's not only bad news for the CEO, it's bad news for them too, because their money is in this business. Now, I say this. Y'all know I hate conspiracy theories. I believe conspiracy theories should not have any legs or feet to stand on. But I believe, now this is coming from me, I believe, obviously it's an inside job. I believe that was one of the stockholders. Vince probably said something that to him that he didn't like, he or she that they didn't like, because Vince has a 51 share, meaning he got the power vote over the rest of the board. So the board can say whatever they want, but since Vince got 51% of his own company, he can basically be like, nope, this is what we're doing. Now, if his vote, if he had 45% and the board altogether got 51%, then Vince will not have too much of a leg to stand on. But not trying to get too much into the semantics. Here's my point. That investigation wouldn't have happened if somebody was worried or Vince rubbed somebody or says the wrong things to one of the shareholders to do this investigation. Now, understand this, ladies and gentlemen. There was nobody from the outside, nobody from talent, nobody from Vince McMahon's staff, no ex-employee started this investigation. This was from within And once again, I go back to publicly traded company. So that means Vince McMahon cannot hide anything anymore. All the things that he's done, that he did, and to the things he's about to do, he has to let his shareholders know. He can't leave them in the dark. Just because he got 51% does not mean he can get away with murder. Well, I won't say get away with murder. You know what I mean. He can't get away with anything. He has to pass it through the board. Even though he got the final say, he still got to pass it through them. Because once again, as an investor, as a shareholder, you need to know how your money's working. What's the next project to help my investments grow? Or if I'm going to take a loss. So when this investigation kicked off, Vince just thought it would be great and thought it would be nice for him to just go out there on stage and just literally just say, here, now, then, forever, whatever his slogan is. And he said together, and then he just tosses the mic. And every single one, I brought this up in the past show, how every single one of those fans just literally cheered for this man. Like, Vince, we love you. Vince, you've done all of these things. I cannot believe cancel culture is trying to come after you. You a legend. You a pioneer. You're an icon. And then he does it not only on SmackDown, he does it on Raw. And people still cheer. Basically, Vince is saying, okay, investigation, give me all you got. And everybody and their mama, every freaking YouTube wrestling channel, every single one of them was sitting there saying, well, I don't see Vince stepping down anytime soon. You know, he's Vince McMahon. You know, he said he would never retire, which is true. He would never retire. I don't think I've seen anything with these allegations. And now all of a sudden, as the days wore on, we realized that it was more of these women that was sexually assaulted by Vince coming out the woodworks. That I think it went from 3 million to 12 million. Just like that. And the crazy thing is, when those stories started to come out, then Vince McMahon stepped down as CEO. And all the talking heads was still saying the same thing. Now, don't get me wrong, they were still shocked. They were shocked that, hold up, sorry. I'll put this back so y'all can see me. They were still saying the same thing. Shocked at the same time, but they were still saying, well, Vince, and because Vince was still head of creative. Well, still, Vince is still head creative. Excuse me, he's going to take over. He's going to take the CEO position back again. But for me, hearing that, I'm like, nah. I've seen this story before. I've seen people like Donald Sterling, for example. You know what happened with his racist ass. Well, you got all these scandals where that tape coming out where he was saying about black people and black players and all that stuff. And knowing that Donald Sterling had a history of racism and how all that came up the woodwork. You saw what happened to him. Even though it took the whole entire ownerships, all the owners of the NBA, and also who's the freaking commissioner of the NBA? I see his eyes. He's a tall, bald head, white dude with glasses. It took all the owners and the commissioner to be like, you gotta give it up, Dow. You gotta give it up. You have to give up your team. Now, see, that's a different story. Vince's case, he has his shareholders. And you know, if it's super serious, a lot of people, either by themselves or some people in the background, that's telling Vince, you need to step down, dog. This is pretty damning. You might want to watch your back. Thank you, Commissioner Adam Silver. Thank you. I'll get ready to say David Stern, rest his soul. He was the prior NBA commissioner. But what I'm saying is, you know, if you go back to any CEO, owner of any type of business, or anybody of a high position, including politicians, when they have allegations against them, no matter if it's sexual allegations or fraud, whatever, when anytime they step down from their post, as we say in the military, but every time they step down from their position of wherever they are, you know it's real. You know that these are some serious allegations and it gotta be some truth to it when they're like, hey, you know, I'm just gonna step down and here's my successor to take the seat. That's when you start to do the little head nod and just looking like, I think there's some truth to this, which leads to this retirement. Now Vince retires. Now you gotta really have to think to yourself, not only that they could be true, that it is true. That during his time as a CEO, owner of one of the biggest sports entertainment companies in the world, not a wrestling company, a sports entertainment company, goes into retirement. To me, that sounds like a man on a run. In a legal way, but a man on the run nonetheless. Which leads me to going back to the fans and me looking at a YouTube video of Chisel Adonis. I like his content. It's been a while since he made questionable videos about certain things. Like one video where I really questioned him on was about the Kanye West situation, where this dude literally said when Kanye made the slavery was a choice thing, and this dude literally was trying to defend him like, all right, y'all took what he said out of context because he was just talking about in the mind. No, he said what he said. When you hang around somebody like Candace Owens and you say that what they're saying is taken out of context, you need to get your brain checked. You're not using not one cell in your brain at all. Period. So that was the only video I had questions about. But he did a video about how great Vince was, what he has done, and saying that, Vince, we're going to miss you. Now, I know he made little videos at the end, like cussing them out and all that stuff. I guess read between the lines, I guess. But still, you're making a video forgetting about all the sexual assault that this man had done to these women, that he paid for their silence. And you still going to let his accolades overshadow that. And it's not me talking to Chisel Adonis per se. I'm talking about the fans in general. Every single one of y'all, which are majority men. How can y'all still celebrate this man, cheer for this man, just spit in the face of this investigation when the investigation is showing so much damn evidence that he paid off these women, and don't put yourselves in the position of fathers or even husbands, that by you agreeing and supporting Vince McMahon, that you're also supporting your demise. If the shoe was on the other foot, if that was your wife, your girlfriend, your daughter, if I didn't say that yet, but your girlfriend, your wife, your daughter, your sister, or your mother, or even just a friend, that you will accept that when they come up to you and say, I'm being sexually assaulted by my boss, that you just gonna say, look, you're working for a billionaire. Is he paying you extra? Yeah. Then I wouldn't say anything. Just let the money roll in. Don't say nothing. It's all good. As long as he keep paying your bills and you don't have to worry about paying your own damn bills, that you can get that nice car, have a roof over your head, not even just a roof on your head. You get a brand new house on the corner that you always want. You can go on vacation anytime you want to. If you keep getting all that, why should you complain? That's basically what you're agreeing to. That's basically what you're saying without saying it. And I'm not, and people gonna sit there gonna say, well, money is the root of all evil. No. Without having money is the root of all evil. It's the person with the money that does the evil acts. It's the root to all evil. Because at one time I looked up to Vince McMahon when I was small. I said I want to be just like him. I want to run a company, run a business with the palm of my hand. That my word has just as much weight, as much power. And every time I say something, everybody listens. That not even an act of God can test with anything that I say or do. That's how I looked up to Vince. Vince McMahon was my idol. Vince McMahon was that man that I was like, I want to be just like him. He was, I want to be like Mike. But what really started to turn me off to Vince was that for me, as a wrestling fan, he started to turn his back on wrestling. That wrestling started to become more of the entertainment value rather than the wrestling itself, where he barely gives women a time to wrestle. That he will put over models instead of women that has the wrestling experience, putting over people that should be put over. He didn't have that many black champions. Now all of a sudden, now he wants to give black wrestlers the freaking platform now, rather than Booker T being a freaking comedic gimmick. And that's when I started to turn away from the WWE, and eventually I stopped watching. Like WrestleMania doesn't even do it for me no more. SummerSlam doesn't even do it for me no more. That's why I'm fully invested in AEW. But I used to look up to that man. And then I started to see his dirty past. And now this dirty past has been on the spotlight once again, but now with more bullshit on the top. And this man had the ordeal to go on Raw and SmackDown, say the slogan, toss the mic. Now that the oven had gotten too hot, to the point now the freaking, you can feel the heat in the kitchen. He steps down as CEO, and then he retires. Vince is a man on the run. And now he's getting federally investigated. So now you got your own internal investigating with the stockholders. To now you got a federal investigation. This country, we need to do better. Us as wrestling fans, WWE fans, y'all have to do better. Y'all love all these causes of, the cancer, military, all this stuff. But then when it starts to get like close to home and it starts to get real, you turn the other cheek. Now, don't get me wrong. If this was, let me see, let me think of a synonymous wrestler. If this was happening to The Rock or to Stone Cold Steve Austin, I will be giving them the same energy that I'm giving Vince right now. I don't give a damn if you came up with the greatest slogan of all time, the greatest catchphrase of all time, or the most electrifying move in sports entertainment. If it comes out that you were sexually assaulting women, men, or kids, I can give a damn that you did 100 Make-A-Wish, did 100 Make-A-Wish stuff. It still will not overshadow that you sexually assaulted a woman, a man, or kids. You could have sat with the Pope and had dinner with him. All I care. You fucked up. Period. You could have played for the Dallas Cowboys and won multiple Super Bowls with them. But during those times, or after those times, they found out that you sexually assaulted anybody, I could care less. And see, ladies and gentlemen, that is caring. That is giving a damn about your fellow man and woman. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care how much of a good or great guy or girl you are, or how bad of a person you are. If you sexually assault any goddamn body or make anybody do anything against their goddamn will, you an asshole. You know. See, I can't even get the words right. Like, it's really making me like real pissed off right now, because you know more worthy than the gum under my flip flop. Hell, I may got more respect than the gum under my flip flop than you. And did y'all see when Linda McMahon, when she was asked about this, when a reporter asked her about it, I'm paraphrasing what she said. She basically said, I'm here for this convention, a conservative convention that she was at for a conservative PAC, and said that, he got a lot of free time to think about it, but I'm not here for that. I'm not going to answer that question. I don't care. Now, other than her not caring, the part that really got me of what she said was when she said he got a lot of free time to think about it. Meaning this, she know who she married. She know what she gotten herself into. So if he got caught with his hands in the cookie jar, why should I be surprised? He's a dog. He's a cheater. But as long as I'm married to a dog and a cheater that make over $1 billion a year, he can do whatever he wants. Basically what she's saying. Because let's be clear, I think every time when Linda McMahon ran for Congress, guess who was fully funding her campaign? If you say Vince, you're damn skippy. Out of his personal money, he endorsed his wife, even though she lost every time. Vince was the money man behind her campaigns, every single one of them. Now, I'm not saying that she didn't have a lot of donors, but they wasn't putting up the Vinnie Mac money for her campaign, if you catch my drift. I mean, as expected, that's his wife. He should be putting a little more than everybody else. But I know nobody else was putting up at least half of what Vince was putting into the campaign. So Linda knows what she's doing. Did she have to answer to be fair? No. But her answer and how she answered it is very telling. But if anybody who actually look at Vince McMahon's history, his timeline, his times that he cheated on his wife, just like me, you will understand why she answered like that. And understood when she said he got a lot of free time to think about it, that should have been like, yep, I understand. Yep, he does have a lot of free time. Linda's out here living her best life. She just not recently, she was on the Trump administration she was the freaking secretary of small business. Not saying that she did a good job or a great job because you didn't hear anything, but usually what they say is if nobody don't have nothing to say bad about you or say nothing about you at all, that means you're doing your job. So I'm just going to take it as that. Not saying that she did a good job or a bad job. But when you take a high-ranking position like that from any administration, a presidential administration, you're guaranteed for book jobs, television shows, or whatever, speaking arrangement campaigns and all that stuff. So Linda out here doing her political thing. Don't blame her. So yeah, the last thing she need to worry about is stuff that she already knew that Vince was doing in the first place. She probably knew that, and who knows what goes on behind closed doors. I guarantee you that Vince probably told her, I paid these women off. She probably had her disagreements with it, but once again, she knew what she signed up for. She knew who she married. Because if Linda really did care of what Vince had done in the past, she would have divorced him a long, long time ago. Let's be for real. She would have divorced him a long, long time ago. I remember the article in Reader's Digest where they interviewed the family. I read that whole entire thing. I think I still got that book somewhere back at home, where he mentioned about his time cheating on his wife. And Linda, she said that was one of the toughest times, but she stuck with him. So even in that article itself, right there, knew that she knew who she's with, who she married. It comes with the territory. As much as it shames me to say that, because I know if my girlfriend found out if I was doing the shit that Vince McMahon was doing, me and her won't be together again. She would kick my ass to the curb. She probably would have taken everything away from me if I didn't do a prenup. So we don't know if they did a prenup or what. But, not going to go deep down the rabbit hole. But I know for a fact my woman will kick me to the curb. And I think anybody, man or woman, if they found out that they was having a little hanky-panky on the side and paying for their silence, yeah, they would have kicked their ass to the side and moved on to the next and take everything that they worth from them. Period. If they care. Linda, on the other hand, was like, we do got this business together. It's becoming successful. I'm just going to stay with them. I'm going to stick with it. It's about to be worth $1 billion. Why should I leave? And y'all probably going to be like, Morris, that's you're reaching. But you realize she's still a McMahon. You realize that when she was asked that, she didn't want to answer the question. Realize she said he has a lot of free time to think about it. Read between the lines. While I'm out here doing my political thing, he's at home, chilling, doing whatever he wants. You don't have to put a conspiracy theory on that, people. Sometimes you can see things for what it is. Just as simple as me looking outside and seeing that the sun is about to set. There's no lying or facts do I need to prove it. It's the truth. Because you can go outside right now and you can see that the sun is setting. It's not morning no more. It's not high noon no more. It's the evening. You don't need no more proof than that. Just as well as Linda knew, she's the only one that knows this. We don't. That know how Vince get down. And know that this is what she signed up for. This is what she married. And like I said earlier, she knew he was a dog. She knew he was a cheater. But I'd rather be with a dog and a cheater that's worth $1 billion. That make at least that every year. So ladies and gentlemen, if you was in her situation right now, would you divorce him? Divorce him or her? Worth $1 billion? Making about $1 billion every year? Would you divorce him? Because a lot of people are saying, well, Vince, I would have divorced him. Really? Really? You let him or her get away from cheating on you in the past. Why all of a sudden you start to care now? I guess you really must believe that I would never do it again. Because when you got a lot of money, you got a lot of power, and Vince hang around a lot of pretty good-looking women. He the one that's, once they finish scouting their talent, they got to go to his office and meet him. Think about that. So I'm saying is, a lot of y'all say y'all would divorce this man or woman. But if you start to care now, what's the point? But I'm going to sum it up like this. Majority of the wrestling fans are men they lean to the conservative side. Y'all have to understand, and this not only just goes for Vince, this goes for any athlete or any person in the position of power that do these things and that y'all blindly support when allegations, sexual allegation or whatever comes out the woodworks, and that proven that they've done it, and they pay money just to keep them quiet, but you choose to just have your blinders on their accomplishments. You're basically saying that the shoe was on the other foot, that you allow that to happen to yourself, to your family members, and to the people that you care about. So all those fans that cheered for Vince at both that SmackDown show and that Raw show, as well as people praising him on the internet, and those that continue to go to a WWE event, by you supporting Vince and still see him as an icon, a pioneer of this sport, you're basically saying that you are for sexual assault or anything that demeaning to your fellow man or woman, as well as to your own and to yourself. Because if you support, it's like this, for example, if you found out that one of your freaking idols is a pedophile, but you just look at their accomplishments and saying that they're a good person or they're a good guy or a good girl, guess what? You have no problems with the pedophile. Realize that. Or if you found out one of your people that you look up to, you found out that they're a serial killer, but you choose just to look at their accomplishment and that they're a good guy or girl, you basically saying that you support serial killers. There's nothing wrong that he or she is a serial killer. As long as they keep kicking that ball or they keep passing the laws that I like, I am cool. And see, and these are the reasons why you should question everything. When you smell smoke, you're not going to sit there and say, oh, I ain't nothing. And then when you start to see the fire, you're not going to sit there and say, well, damn, that's a big ass lamp. It lights up the whole place. I'm just warming up. And not realizing that the house is on damn fire. You that meme where that dog is sitting at a bar and everything around them is on fire, and the meme says, oh, everything's just fine. That's you, the WWE universe, wherever the hell y'all want to call yourselves, and for anybody that's supporting Vince McMahon, you are that dog. You are that person that is just sitting there in a room full of fire. And just because in your vicinity, not everything's burnt yet, you still got your drink right there. Everything in front of you still looks the same, but not understanding that eventually that raging fire that's around you is eventually going to come your way. But since they haven't touched you yet, oh, everything's fine. And not to mention that exit back there, yeah, good luck with that. Or the entrance that you came to the bar, that door over there, oh yeah, good luck with that too. Because when the shit hits the fan, there's no coming back. None. So once again, for all you WWE Universe fans or anybody that support Vince, by you supporting them, I don't want to hear None of y'all sit there and say, well, I'm against sexual assault. Where was that energy when all those allegations came out? Where were they? Got a comment from my boy Bizarrus. Vince is in the same frame as Bill Cosby, just more money and better lawyers. But you can't take any away the accomplishment of either men when terrible and horrible history is brought to light. Well, I'm not saying that you should take away the accolades. I'm not saying that. Because Vince is always going to be seen as the one that revolutionized sports entertainment. But you cannot let that overshadow what he has done, what I'm saying. He's always going to be known for that. We just should not just be eyeing on that, saying that he accomplished all these things and all this stuff, and it's just a minor hiccup. Really? No. Like that old saying go, what's done in the dark shall be brought to the light. This is something that should not be ignored. Nothing. Like I tell you this, even when you believe that you're doing something right, like I'm gonna use a case. I don't know if y'all what's the name? Queen Flip. I don't know if anybody watches YouTube channel. Queen Flip in New York. His daughter was in a Jewish community. His daughter and his son, and it was in the park. I'm gonna get to the point. So basically, she gets into a fight with a Jewish white girl. They get into a fight, and his brother stepped in because they was about to jump his sister. The police came, and guess who got arrested? Queen Flip's sister and him. Now, in hindsight's eyes, as a parent, see, I'm not a parent, but if I was in the parent's shoes, you would be like, that's right. First of all, my daughter should defend herself. And two, if anybody trying to jump in, my son should step up. My son should step up to defend his sister. But in the eyes of the law, that's assault. So what I'm saying is, in this case for Vince McMahon, you're not going to take away the man's accomplishments, which I am not saying. But in the same breath, we're not going to ignore that this man had paid $12 million. And I wouldn't be surprised that that money amount goes up higher with hush money of these sexual allegations that are true. Period. So for all the people that is still supporting Vince McMahon, you're basically saying that, hey, sexual assault, sexual allegations, and hushing them up is a great thing. It's a wonderful thing. So I don't want to hear any conspiracy theories about Democrats or the Republicans with sexual allegations saying that's wrong, where you didn't have the same energy for this man here. That's what I'm saying. And with me saying that, it's not tarnishing or taking away his accomplishments. I'm just saying we should not pay attention to his accomplishments and realize the bullshit that he has done. And he should be held accountable like he is right now. Because this shit wouldn't have been as real, because if Vince knew that these were not true, he still would be the CEO. He still would be a head creative. But when he started to relinquish his positions, that's what happens. Gotta hate those. Yep. And here's the crazy thing too about those NDAs, and I want McCary to also chime in too. They are now having military folks sign those suckers now too. Yep. So we can't say our disagreements about the military no more because now they got us signing those suckers. I know I did mine in the reserves. I haven't done one in the guard yet, but I know that's coming soon. But like I said, I'm not taking away the accomplishment of what this man's done. I'm just saying we should pay a lot more attention to what he has done in the dark that's brought to light. And that for those who support him, you're basically supporting sexual assault. You are supporting that. Period. What's going to lead me to my final thought for everybody. Once again, the show is sponsored by Cheddar Boy Popcorn. I didn't even show none of their stuff. I apologize. They actually got some new flavors. So they do deliver. Just check out their website, realcheddarboypopcorn.com. Once again, realcheddarboypopcorn.com. Hey, do me a favor. So when y'all get Cheddar Boy Popcorn, when y'all get it delivered, please send your picture so we can post it up here so we can show love to our sponsor. So if you order Cheddar Boy Popcorn, please send a picture. Take a picture of the popcorn, what flavor you got. Also give us some feedback saying how good that popcorn is. I don't think I heard any bad things about Cheddar Boy Popcorn. Not one. Everybody loves it. Definitely here and also abroad. So once again, if you order Cheddar Boy Popcorn, please send a picture. Send a picture so we can show it to you. I just came home, bro. I'm on duty. Oh, I think I know who this is. But now let's go on ahead. Y'all know it is. It is the final thought. Once I find the right tab. Well, anyways, but we're about to hit on to the final thought. Once again, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. As you see, it's a one-man show. No green screen, no nothing. I just wanted to jump on it because I was a little late. I had to get my ASUs. I'm going to ALC. Finally got a seat. So once again, thank y'all for tuning in. But let's go to the final thought. So, ladies and gentlemen, here's my final thought. Now, this was originally for my opening statements, but it didn't pop in until later. So now that's in my thoughts, I'm going to talk about it. And that is Dave Chappelle. So Dave Chappelle have gotten to conversations of him. Is he transphobic and all this stuff? But in general, it just brings me to talking about comedians. Look, I'm all for a good laugh. Last month, I went to see Ari Spears and Steinberg, who's his tag team partner in crime. Funny. Up over here at the Tacoma House of Comedy. Loved it. Enjoyed it. But Ari Spears, he mentioned something about, we live in a politically correct world, and now it's a war on comedy. And it's funny, I actually had a conversation with one of my coworkers, one of my captains, and he's like, comedy's becoming a lost art. And to an extent, that is true. But here's where I stand. This goes for the Dave Chappelle's, Cat Williams, but mainly Dave Chappelle, because Dave Chappelle is more controversial. This is where I stand. If you put yourself out there on Jump Street, you deserve as much as the rocks and the roses thrown at you. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're the president of the United States to the freaking greatest comedian of all time. When you say things, even if it's a joke or you're just saying things because you believe that you need to be heard. People are going to take it a different way. It's not because people are sensitive. You putting yourself in the fire, not them. We don't go back to what our moms used to tell us. Is if you don't have nothing nice to say. Nowadays, if you don't have nothing productive to say, don't say anything at all. It's not because the world is sensitive. No. It's because you're not thinking about the things that you're saying and not accepting the consequences that you're going to get from it, good or bad. The world is not sensitive as we all want to believe. It's just people just think because we got free speech that we can say whatever the hell we want to without any consequence. That for me, for example, me giving you my views. Like I always say, I'm not the end all and be all with all the things I say. I encourage y'all to do your own research. If I'm wrong, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to fact check myself. And it turns out I'm wrong. I will admit that I'm wrong. There's been plenty of times on this show where I've said I was wrong. But if I turn out to be right, I'm standing on it. And see, and sometimes that's all that it takes. People are not able to stand up for their own 2 feet and admit that they're wrong. We shouldn't put comedians in this freaking, we shouldn't put them in this whole different category where they're immune to criticism. Oh, it made me laugh. But what about that one person that didn't like that he keeps using the N-word? Oh, now they just sensitive? Or because they got values? Now I understand that this world is going crazy and all that stuff, but that's just part of it. And understand this, when you hear people sitting there saying, I got the freedom of speech and all that stuff, that's only pertaining to the government, not person to person. Even though I work for the government, but guess what? I still got the freedom of speech. Me and the countless of my battle buddies that are looking at this show right now, even my battle buddy that's on this show, Mr. Billingsley, I don't think he's he obviously he's not on the show, but hopefully he's watching. We defend that right. Meaning, even with me in uniform, if you out here protest for whatever, I can't infringe on that. The police can't infringe on that. The politician, the mayor or whatever local official is out there, they can't shut you up. They can't give you a curfew, be like, hey, you got to leave around like 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock. That's all they can do. They can't shut you up. So when I'm here like freedom of speech, no. Just because you say anything does not mean that people can't say what they feel about it, even when you don't like it. So the things that Dave Chappelle said in his special, The Closer, to me, if you actually looked at The Closer, like actually watched it, take out the comedy, but listen to what he was saying. When he was talking about that transphobic woman that he was trying to help to get into the game of comedy. And he told that story where he said that he brought her in the room with greats like Paul Mooney. I forgot. I'm only one name I can remember was Paul Mooney, but everybody else that was up in that room were heavy hitters to legends. And how he was saying, well, she was cracking jokes with them and they was cracking jokes on her. And that struck me the wrong way. I'm going to tell you why. Have y'all ever went into a place where I'm gonna use me for example. I'll come for a rural area. And there were times where I was the only top chocolate drop in the room. Around all these white folks that I don't know. Only person I know is the friend that invited me. and you hear the conversations that they be having with you. Oh, you one of the good ones. You sound very educated. Oh, you in the military? I wish it was more of you like that in the military. For anybody that looks like me, sounds familiar? Or any minority, does that sound familiar? So when Dave Chappelle was trying to say that, but trying to say that she was cracking jokes on them, I find that very hard to believe. Definitely when you are in a room with some heavy hitters to legends. Honestly, if I'm in a room with Tina Turner, I'm gonna use Paul Mooney too. Freaking Frank Sinatra. Who else? I'll even put Macho Man. I'm just coming up with names. Or freaking Denzel Washington. You think I'm gonna be up in there doing a lot of talking? Hell no. I'm gonna be Denzel Washington, Tina Turner. I'm in a room. I would be so damn starstruck, I wouldn't even know what to do with myself. Even if it was just two people, I still wouldn't have nothing to say. Because I would still try to pitch myself saying, oh, is this real? Like, is this actually happening? I'm actually sitting across from them and they're talking to me. I probably couldn't even gather one word to say. And so Dave Chappelle was using a white man's trope of, I'm not racist. I got 10 black friends. Or I'm not racist. I got a black wife with black kids, with mixed kids. Dave Chappelle used that trope with that trans woman. And that went over everybody's head. Am I saying that Dave Chappelle is transphobic? I'm not saying that. But what Dave Chappelle is saying, what he said in his comedy special, is very problematic. It's naive. And that community still catches hell. A lot of men can't look their own sons that turn who turn themselves into a woman that's a trans woman now, that can look their kids in the face and say that they love them. Look at Dwayne Wade. Every freaking black man was coming at him, sitting there and saying, you got your freaking son calling himself a girl now. How the freak? And question him on every damn thing. And majority of them that sit there saying all these things about Dwayne Wade can't even look their kids in the freaking eye, can't even take care of them. Don't see them standing in the streets when they see their own getting killed and shot. They're too busy recording, or it's none of my business. But damn, you got a lot to say about freaking Dwayne Wade and sitting there making freaking TikTok videos and Instagram videos of y'all standing on the freaking White House in the suits and sitting there saying black men together ain't pass no damn laws or push any laws to make it better for people like myself and you. It really pisses me off where we let things like this go over our fucking heads, and then people like myself will call it out and we're called sensitive. Not only just sensitive, but then when we call stuff out on your end, y'all tell us to get out of our feelings. Then you want to fight. Let me break the news to y'all. Definitely y'all freaking baby boomers. There are other people out there. There are things that even our own textbooks back in the day don't even tell us about. Let me say it to the mic. There are other things. Nothing is simple as black and white. LGBTQ plus has always been here. Black people has always been here. Asians has always been here. Yes, there are white people that do give a damn about their fellow man and woman, no matter what their race is. They exist. They are here. And it's time for us to understand that. We, as a people, cannot criticize one side, criticize one person, without doing the same to the other side, just because we support them and we like them. What Dave Chappelle did in that special, what he said in that special was dangerous. While every single one of y'all laughed, what he was saying was dangerous. And he used that trans woman to basically say that he's not transphobic, to justify all the things that he said about the trans community. Which lead me to this. When can we say a joke goes too far? What is the butt of the joke? Is it just for a laugh? Just for us to laugh? Or is something actually that we should listen to? Or is a mirror of a reflection of us and our ignorance? Think about that. Is it for a laugh? Or a mirror of our ignorance and our naivety? Because ever since listening to the Dave Chappelle, the closer, it disturbed me to the point where now I'm really listening to the comedians now. Like really listening to them. That I'm not just listening to you because I want to laugh and forget about the crazy world that I live in. I want to actually hear what you say. And what's the meaning behind the joke? Because you got comedians out here that will say a joke and they don't have no experience with. Because if I was a comedian, I'm not making no jokes about people with cancer. I'm not going to make a joke about getting a divorce if I've never been married before. Which, once again, that mirror. Because while you over there sitting there laughing like in the divorce, you come to find out this man was never married, you kind of feel like a dummy, don't you? Kind of feel stupid, don't you? No offense. Because honestly, I will feel like a sucker too if this person sitting there joking around about my troubles in my life and he never experienced it. Now, if the person does have an experience of getting divorced, hell yeah, I'm going to laugh my head off like, damn, I thought I had it bad. Or you found out that person had cancer and they survived it. And you like, damn, shoot, that's good. I went through all that, chemo, all that. Lost all my hair. Almost could see my damn ribs. And that's one of the biggest problems with Dave Chappelle in the closer. He never experienced that. He never went to a trans community, I guarantee you. He never see what trans people go through on a daily basis. He never sat down with a family or sit down with a kid that's going through bullying, that is going through the hardships, or their parents not accepting who they are. But he can make a joke about it, and everybody laughs and say, oh, it's just a joke. But until the tables will turn on you and the joke's on you, let's see if you keep that same energy. But do me a favor. I know this final thought went on too long, but this is where I'm going to leave you at. When you listen to your favorite comedians, actually listen to them. See what they're actually talking about. And most of all, listen to your gut. Because if they tell you a joke, and I'm not talking about the jokes that make you have a six-pack, but tell you a joke that really strikes the nerve, pay attention to it. Because it could be you looking in the mirror of yourself, of your ignorance, and your naivety. If I said that right, but y'all know us. I've been saying it like naivety. That's what it is. Naivety. So listen to these comedians. Don't put them on a high pedestal that they can't get criticized because they try and make you laugh. Because sometimes the joke could be on you. And that would do it for me, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in once again. Thank you for Cheddar Boy Popcorn for sponsoring this show. But before I head on out, the spirit of Teach, she's been doing her thing over there in Africa. So I'm going to leave the video of her as she was giving out some scholarships to the people and to the kids over there in Cameroon through her organization of the African Studies. So check it out. But for me, thank y'all for tuning in to #FadeToBlack. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to share this video. And once again, Mondays in this month, I probably won't be doing the show because of school, but I will be running reruns. But if I have time, I will let you know when I go live. But other than that, thank you for tuning in. I've been your host, Daniel Monte Morris. This has been #FadeToBlack. Love each and every one, y'all. Bye.
Everybody knows that.
Yeah, I'm pippin', flippin', spittin' these lyrics. Got you feeling what I be saying like you caught the Holy Spirit now. I done went through some shit up in my past, but it fertilized my future. Now I'm harvesting my cash. I like 'em pretty, but they can't be hot, so did it. Talking like I'm gon' buy what you want, you think it's silly, girl.